DAT Gothics. A colony of gulls flocked some 20 yards out to sea, like an army of buzzards. Every few seconds one would dart from the sky like a falling star, only to plunge its bill into cresting gray waves off the Pacific. Though the birds often surfaced with a tasty morsel in tow, anchovy, tuna, or herring perhaps, they never stopped crying about like screaming banshees. Something hauntingly disconcerting beneath the undertones of the chant nudged at Tracy's subconscious. Their cries melded with the surf and spoke of lonely, remote, and foreboding places. Tracy glanced ahead at her best friend Dottie. An uncharacteristic look of melancholy had all but washed the life from Dottie's beautiful green eyes and features. She seemed at once a seaside apparition, perhaps awaiting the return of an ancient lover. Dottie brushed a stubborn lock of hair from her eyes, only so it could settle back into place.
Candy said this wouldn't last,
Tracy encouraged, dancing her 5'2" frame just ahead of her friend, and checking her watch. It read 2 p.m. Pacific time.
In a few hours, all this will blow over, and we'll have sun-kissed California sand beneath our feet again throughout the rest of vacation.
Yeah, I guess so,
Dottie mumbled. With her dejected demeanor and Fisher-Price pail and shovel in hand, Dottie appeared less Tracy's senior by 4 months, and more like the little girl foul weather had turned her into. Her current beach ensemble, however, red bikini, fire print sarong, and tan flip-flops, made her out to be every inch the 25-year-old beauty she truly was.
We wasted our first evening already by staying behind. We should have went with Candy and helped her set up. This always happens to us. It sucks.
Tracy's blue eyes narrowed. Her familiar temper flared up like a smoldering inferno. She wasn't about to let Dottie's pissy little mood affect her own. She had come to have fun. Her own beach ensemble certainly proved it. Blue bikini beneath denim short shorts and a flannel top tied below her ample breasts. Running her hands through her near black hair, she started to argue with Dottie. Then her gaze softened. Dottie could be a ditz at times, but this disheartened act wasn't like her at all. Better to fight fire with water.
Candy insisted we unpack first and freshen up after our flight. She went to no little trouble getting this private summer house for us. It isn't her fault the damned weather turned traitor so fast. By this evening it will blow over, and we'll have a full moon tonight. And by morning, it'll be like that year I sculpted both that mermaid tail around you and that great white coming up and snagging your tail from sand, remember?
How could I forget?
Dottie laughed, slipping into her old self again at the happy memory.
Bubbles never understood why we refused to go into the water.
Yeah,
Tracy laughed, delighted that she had coaxed her friend back from melancholia.
even though I all but spelled it out for her with the sculpting of that shark.
Poor Bubbles.
Dottie clicked her tongue against her teeth in sympathy.
Never the sharpest knife in the drawer.
Bubbles was Candy's nickname. It referred to Candy's bubbly personality, not her breasts, although if you didn't know her to begin with, you might assume so. Tracy and Dottie were no slouches in the breast department, sharing 36 Cs, but compared to Candy, they were strictly B cups. To be fair, Candy Buffington was more than some blonde bombshell. She was your stereotypical dumb blonde, with a twist. She was a prodigy with all things musical, a virtuoso with any instrument she had ever handled. This gift had enabled her to become a successful rock star, who had already been featured on the cover of Rolling Stone magazine. Candy was also a competitive surfer as well as a certified lifeguard, having placed first at the California State Malibu Surf Competition for 5 years in a row. Tracy and Dottie may have teased her on occasion, but it was all in good fun. Candy didn't mind being the brunt of the girls' teasing. Half the time she didn't get it, and the other half she didn't care.
That sand sculpture was badass,
Dottie admitted. Then she teased.
I doubt you can make another one, though. You're talented, but you seem to be running out of inspiration lately.
That does it.
Tracy said with a laugh.
I'm about to bury your sorry ass in sand again. Only this time I'll leave your feet exposed for a good tickle on you.
Oh,
Dottie began nonchalantly, rising to her feet.
I'm bigger than you.
Yeah, right.
Tracy challenged. Ever the aggressor, she liked it when Dottie took the lead. Dottie only had about 6 inches on her anyway.
You've got like 5 pounds on me, if that, string bean.
And I'm the one with the tail.
Dottie scooped up a bucket of sand and darted after her.
Mission accomplished.
Tracy grinned as she allowed a newly playful Dottie to chase after her on the private beach, their squeals and giggles raising hell with the seagulls. By 6 that evening, the sun had indeed rolled back in view to welcome the girls in full. The sky went from ashen to blue, the sea from gray to aqua. Tracy and Dottie reclined on lawn chairs about 20 feet from shore, a cooler of hard apple ciders between them. Dottie wore a wide-brimmed hat, while Tracy donned a sun visor. Both women wore sunglasses, sipped at their bottles of cider, and worked their tans, their clothes stripped down to their bikinis and tucked away in large purses.
Just like spring break,
Dottie said, nursing her drink. She stretched languidly in the sun and yawned.
Hot, hot, hot.
Not as hot as our sunburns will be, if you let us fall asleep at once.
Tracy warned, sipping at her second apple cider. The alcohol was already beginning to take its toll on her senses. She was beginning to hear seagulls again, though she couldn't spot them. She yawned deeply as Dottie looked over at her.
Well, you wore me out earlier.
You deserved it.
Dottie quipped.
Just stay awake. I don't want to be a cooked lobster if I doze off, and there's no one around to mind the sun for us.
Candy had hooked them up with a private strip of beachfront property that ran just 6 miles south of Laguna. The ladies had debated going to Laguna, Zuma, or even Malibu, where Candy frequented, but Candy herself had assured them those spots were brimming with tourists. And while the shores of Gregorio and Baker Beach were less frequented, they also happened to be nudist beaches. While Tracy and Dottie certainly had the goods, they weren't in a hurry to share their private bits with anyone who stopped by just to gawk at them either. Tracy's eyelids grew heavy.
Damn it. It's happening already. Lulled into sleep by the alcohol, or the birds, or the sounds of the birds. Damn the seagulls. They sound as if they're half a mile out to sea. But could I even hear them from that far away? And aren't gulls supposed to be coastal birds? They roam closer inland, don't they? Then what the hell am I really hearing? Oh, fuck it. I can't keep my eyes open anymore.